know Mary Beth Hurt was literally babysat by a future film icon before she became one herself? I know, that's a plot twist the universe wrote for free. Alright, let's get into it. This is Emma Spills the Tea, and I'm in a reflective mood today. Low-key cozy, high-key obsessed with how small moments turn into big careers.
So, let's talk Mary Beth Hurt. She was one of those rare actors who could absolutely slay on stage and then pivot to film like no whiplash. Born in Iowa with small-town vibes, she glowed up straight to New York theater in the 1970s and then to Hollywood. She studied drama at the University of Iowa, then NYU Tisch, which, is basically the Ivy League of acting programs. And her circle? Honey, Jean Seberg, the French New Wave star, was her childhood babysitter. Later, she married filmmaker Paul Schrader, the guy who wrote Taxi Driver and directed films like Light Sleeper. The web of it all.
Quick personal detour, cause I so cannot resist. When I was a kid, my neighbor Mr. Romano, who ran the most chaotic little community theater in our town, used to hand me programs and be like, read the names out loud with confidence. It felt silly, why me? Years later, I'm at a live panel, the prompter dies, chaos, and guess who reads names for 10 minutes straight without blinking? That goofy moment became my weird superpower. It taught me that a random, ordinary person can hand you something that later becomes your secret flex. That's what I hear in Mary Beth Hurt's story. Jean Seberg babysat little Mary Beth in Marshalltown, Iowa, and decades later Mary Beth voiced Seberg in a documentary called From the Journals of Jean Seberg. That is a full-circle kismet moment. It's like the universe said, keep the receipt, you'll need it later. Okay, let's move on. ELI 5 time! Mary Beth's impact is like being the friend who hosts perfect dinner parties and also crushes a bake-off on TV. Theater was the dinner party, intimate, demanding, 3 courses with timing. Film was the bake-off, cameras, pressure, editing, and a million eyes. She did both, seamlessly. Timeline, quick and digestible. She trains hard at Iowa and NYU. New York stage debut in the mid-1970s, wins the Clarence Derwin Award for Love. Then boom! Interiors in 1978, directed by Woody Allen. For context, Allen is an American director known for neurotic comedies, but Interiors was a heavy drama. She gets a BAFTA nomination for Most Promising Newcomer. By the early 80s, she's on Broadway in Crimes of the Heart, and racks up Tony nominations across Trelawney of the Wells, Crimes, and Benefactors. That's not rumor, that's receipts. Important people alert. Jean Seberg we covered, and then there's Paul Schrader, an American filmmaker known for probing tough character-driven stories. Mary Beth married him in the 1980s. They had a daughter and a son, and they collaborated Light Sleeper in the early 90s, Affliction in the late 90s. If I were Mary Beth, I'd be thinking, okay, I've got stage credibility. Now I'm stepping into these psychologically gnarly film worlds. That takes guts, and it shows range. Teresa and Light Sleeper is razor-edged melancholy. Lillian in Affliction is cool and precise. Different textures, same craft. She also worked with giants, Martin Scorsese, the American auteur behind Goodfellas and The Departed, cast her in The Age of Innocence and later Bringing Out the Dead. That tells you everything about trust. Directors like Scorsese do not call you back unless you bring nuance that serves the story. And she did ensemble like a pro. In 6 Degrees of Separation, she's Kitty. It's surgical acting. Not loud, but unforgettable. And for the TV girlies, she popped up everywhere. 30-something, where she played the poet Emily Dickinson in a smart meta episode. Quick explainer. Dickinson is the 19th century American poet who wrote those tight, devastating little verse bombs. Law & Order and SVU, Judge Energy, Total Authority. She did the sitcom Lane with Working It Out in 1990, and yes, she was on Saturday Night Live in an episode hosted by Glenn Close, who is not just that legend from Fatal Attraction, she was also Mary Beth's friend since understudy days. Their careers were intertwined in that cool, sisterly theater way. Now the spicy debate I keep seeing, was Mary Beth Hurt more influential on stage or on screen? My take: stage anchored her prestige, film broadened her visibility. The receipts, multiple Tony nominations in the 1970s and 90s cemented her as capital T theater. An Obie for Crimes of the Heart, which is an off-Broadway award that signals deep credibility. That's the spine of authority. But film put her in rooms and memories far beyond the mezzanine. Interiors in '78 was a mic drop. The World According to Garp in the early 90s, playing Helen opposite Robin Williams got her in front of mainstream audiences. The 90s were peak ensemble prestige, The Age of Innocence, 6 Degrees, Bringing Out the Dead. Later, The Dead Girl got her an Independent Spirit Award nomination. If you only know her from movies, you still feel the stage bones in that work, the posture, the intention, the clarity. If I were her, going from Broadway Lass to a Paul Schrader close-up would be like switching from a ball gown to a scalpel. On stage, you fill a room with breath. On film, you live in the millimeter. She did both with zero cringe. That's why people in the know talk about her with this almost hush respect. And the pop culture moments matter. Her SNL appearance with Glenn Close shows her comedic agility. We always pigeonhole serious stage actors as, extra solemn, but Mary Beth could be dry and wicked. I wish casting directors would pull more receipts from careers like hers. Let the dramatic queens be funny. Let the funny ones be tragic. Range is the flex. We also have to talk about her name. She was born Mary Beth Supinger, married actor William Hurt in the 1970s, and kept the last name Hurt professionally even after he divorced in the early 90s. That name became brand recognition across stage and screen. People act like branding is tacky. It's not. It's strategy. She did it with elegance. In the 2000s, she kept working, Lady in the Water, Untraceable, and that heartbreaking, razor-true performance in The Dead Girl, which got her the Independent Spirit nod. She kept showing up in different lanes, even doing children's narrations like Leo the Late Bloomer. That voice had warmth. If you ever heard her narrate, you know exactly what I mean. It's like she hands you a blanket and a truth at the same time. Reality check. In recent years, Paul Schrader shared that Mary Beth was in memory care due to advancing Alzheimer's, and she passed in 2026 at 79. This part is hard, but it matters. The industry loves you loud and forgets you quiet. Her legacy reminds me to clock not just the headlines, but the craft, the daily discipline, the generous ensembles, the way a single line lands with a lifetime of training behind it. That is not mid, that is master level. Okay, pause. This next part is everything. If you take only one thing, it's this. Your early influences, the tiny, unsexy ones, can echo for decades. Mary Beth and Gene Serberg prove it. My neighbor's playbill practice, your random coach, your cranky piano teacher, whatever. The thread is there. Pull it. Next, we've got a tease. I'm eyeing another theater icon who crashed the film gates like a boss. Think Viola Davis, the American actress with a Tony, an Emmy, and an Oscar and receipts for days. Are we doing that? Maybe. Keep your notifications on. Okay, we covered a lot. Mary Beth Hurt was proof that prestige and popularity do not have to live on opposite coasts. Take inspiration from unexpected places and let your range be your loudest clapback. I'm Emma. This was Emma Spills the Tea, and I'll see you next time. Stay curious, honey.